When a house on Bay Drive caught fire, the first engine to arrive didn't roar, it whispered. And the difference that made? It's going to surprise you. Hi, I'm Steve Rode, your friend, your neighbor, and your host here at Good Morning Wake County. Coming to you from beautiful Wake Forest, home of the town, not of the school. Hey, thanks for joining me today where we skip the noise and start the day with something good because sometimes progress doesn't blare its horn. Sometimes it hums. In Cary, the fire department just made history and maybe a little less noise. They've added a brand new Pierce Volterra to their fleet, the very first all-electric fire truck in service on the East Coast. It's stationed at Fire Station 9, and while it does have a diesel backup for extended calls, it runs entirely on battery most of the time, with a zero-emission tailpipe and a drive system that's much quieter than traditional trucks. The Volterra officially went into service in June. Just days later, it got its first major test, a residential structure fire on Bay Drive. The fire took 3 hours to contain and required multiple hose lines. The Volterra arrived with 87% battery charge and assisted throughout the entire response. Firefighters noted that the reduced engine noise helped crews communicate more clearly, especially in a high-stress environment. After returning to the station and being cleaned off, the truck had already started recharging, climbing right back to 90%. The town of Cary has been planning for this truck since June 2021 and started putting it in motion in late 2023. At $1.8 million, it's a serious investment, but officials say it's worth it, calling it a step towards cleaner, more sustainable emergency response, and maybe even a calmer one. And I'll tell you, as someone who used to work in emergency response, I've seen how clarity can save lives. If quieter trucks means safer scenes, I'm all for it. That's progress. Big hat tip to CBS 17 for letting us know about this. Hey, by the way, if this kind of story brightens your day, I'd be grateful if you left a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And if you like these stories in your inbox, you can subscribe at tapyournews.com. There's a $3 million investment on the way, and it could change who's able to work, shop, and grow right here in Wake County. Rocky Mount has secured a $3 million grant from the North Carolina Department of Transportation to launch a new weekday commuter bus route, and its primary destination? Downtown Raleigh. The route will give Rocky Mount residents, many who live 50 or more miles away, a direct, affordable way to commute for work, for school, and health. The buses will run during peak morning and evening hours. And why does this matter for us that live in Wake County? Because access runs both ways. This route expands the talent pool for local employers, and it reduces the number of single-occupancy cars on Interstate 87 and US 64, and it opens the door for regional collaboration, something cities like Raleigh will need more of as we grow. Longer term, the bus line is part of a broader push to connect eastern North Carolina to urban centers. Think Wilson, Greenville, Roanoke Rapids, and even Wilmington, all tied together by public transit instead of long drives and traffic jams. There's no launch date yet, but the city and state are working out the final details now. And when it rolls out, this project could make Wake County a little more accessible and a lot more connected. Thanks to WRAL for that story. And back here in downtown Raleigh, something new is rising across from one of the city's oldest green spaces. Across from Nash Square, a historic downtown Raleigh park that dates back to the 1700s, a highly anticipated skyscraper just got a makeover, or rather, a scale back. Originally planned as a 36-story luxury tower with over 400 units, the project will now be 20 stories tall, with 82 high-end condos and 5,500 square feet of ground floor retail. Why the change? Well, according to the developer, Kenneth Horn of Alchemy Properties South, Rising interest rates played a big role, but so did instinct. We took a deep breath, Horn told the Triangle Business Journal, and decided to do something that was a little more in scale, a little more boutique. The reimagined project, now called One Nash Square, will include units starting around $795,000. Some will feature balconies, luxury finishes, and rooftop access to a spa, fitness center, and pool. And if it all goes as planned, indoor pickleball. It'll sit at 303 South Dawson Street, just steps away from the warehouse district, museums, and downtown restaurants. Even at half its original height, it's still expected to be a landmark, just one that whispers a little more than it shouts. Today's stories had one thing in common: progress that doesn't yell. A fire truck that hums instead of roars, a bus that invites more people into the life of Wake County, a tower that grew smaller and maybe smarter. Turns out you don't need to make noise to make an impact, and maybe the future isn't louder. Maybe it's just clearer. If you're enjoying the show, I'd be so very grateful if you take a moment to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps others discover the show. Hey, take care out there today, and if you hear a fire truck that sounds a little different, smile. That's progress passing you by. See ya.